Good afternoon, everybody, and good morning to those of you in different parts of the world. My name is Jean Chawapiwa. I'm the country director for WEConnect International in South Africa. We're really honored to have you on the call this afternoon. We're joined by an amazing team from the United Nations Procurement Division, based in New York, so it's still morning time for them. And we're really honored that the United Nations is working with WEConnect globally to find women business owners to do business with the UN. And this webinar is especially focused on doing business with the UN in Africa. So really delighted to be doing this. A previous webinar, I can't remember which month it was now, was held for the Nigeria and West Africa group. So we're really delighted now that we can focus more on Southern Africa. So good afternoon. If I can just ask the team from the United Nations Procurement Division to just very quickly introduce themselves. You're going to get to know more about them as they talk this afternoon. I'm going to ask Isabelle first, and followed by Mika, then Rich, then Jeannie, then Emmy, to just do a very quick introduction of themselves. Over to you, Isabelle.
Thank you, Jean. My name is Isabelle Dupuy. I'm in the United Nations Procurement Division since 2010. Before that, I was in NATO and French Defense. I have a large experience in different portfolio of procurement, and I'm a member of the SIPS. Mika?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mika Kitagami. I am a Chief of Vendor Registration Outreach. Today with me, I have 3 other colleagues from my team. In case we forget to thank WEConnect at the end, we thank you for this opportunity to present today. My team does outreach activities and with vendor registration as well. So if you have any questions at the end of the seminar, please let us know. Thank you. Rich?
Hello, my name is Rich. I'm a procurement assistant. I've been with the UN for 10 years, and I'm currently on the vendor registration and outreach team. Thank you.
Okay, hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Jeannie Murphy. I am also with the vendor registration and outreach team. I've been at the UN for 28 years. We are very pleased to have you all here today, and we encourage everyone to register as a supplier with the UN. So we're very delighted to have you. Thank you so much, Jean and everyone at WEConnect, for having us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emi Araki. I'm also on the vendor registrations, working with Mika, Rich, and Jeannie, and also Isabelle. I'm working with UN about 3 years now. Actually, I'm kind of new, but thank you for participating in this seminar today. I'm excited. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Jen.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time to do this and joining us. Just a little bit about housekeeping. Please, for all those attending, we would like you to stay on silence. We want you to use the chat facility. If you have questions, the chat facility at the bottom of your screen, please chat there and ask the questions. We're gonna have Jeannie and Emmy helping to also answer the questions in the chat as we go along, but we will stop during the presentations to catch up with any questions that either Isabelle or Mika or Rich have to answer during their presentations. So those breaks will come, please be patient. As I mentioned before, we'd really like everybody to stay on silent. We have a lot of information to get through, and we want to minimize the interruptions. So that's not to say we don't want you to ask the questions, but please use the chat. And just in case we forget to mention it, we will be sharing the slides with you. The slides have already been sent to Vanessa and I. We will PDF them and share with you the slides from this afternoon. A lot of amazing information. as well as a live demo of how to join the UN database. So I'm going to go straight over to Isabelle to start the presentation. Over to you, Isabelle.
Thank you, Jeannie. So yes, we are very pleased to join you today to present you how to do business with the UN. This is a great opportunity for you to know more about our opportunities, but it's also a great opportunity for us to connect with women-owned businesses. And thank you again for WEConnect for introducing us to you. I'm going to talk about, hold on. Yes, so we are from the Department of Operational Support, and this means that we are taking care of procurement, logistics, and many other aspects of the requirements for the UN Secretariat in New York City, but also all over the world, as you will see. The presentation will cover the system chart of the UN, which is rather complex, the peacekeeping operations, the procurement division itself. Then we will address the volume and the statistics. We will cover the principles of procurement because, you know, we are a public institution, so procurement principles are very important for us. And we will go through the Global Compact that will very much interest you as women-owned businesses, and the procurement challenges in doing business with the peacekeeping. So this is the system. We are the Secretariat, the orange circled part, and that covers the yellow offices and departments that you can see on the chart. So there are also other subsidiary organs, funds and programs like UNDP, UNICEF, WFP that you may be knowledgeable about, which are not part of the UN Secretariat. For us, what we cover are economical and social affairs, the Security Council, and all the decisions for opening the peacekeeping operations. We have also the Office of Legal Affairs that is giving advice for all across the UN system. I'm not going to go into detail of that slide, but at least you have it in your portfolio so you know what we are talking about in the future. So these are the places where we do business as the UN Secretariat, UN Procurement Division. So we are responsible for placing the contracts for strategic items for all these operations. But these operations also have their own local mandate to do other than strategic, and we will talk about that later. But basically, we are located mostly in Africa, and this is why having a business seminar with you in South Africa makes sense, because we want you to be more involved into our operations and deliver the goods and services that we need in Africa. But we are also present in other places as seen on this map. And the second map is also the political missions. So again, Africa is very well represented. And then we have also in the Middle East and in Americas. This is the organizational chart of the UN Procurement Division. So we have two large services and one section. One service deals with technology, infrastructure, and management services. The other one is dealing with transport and life support. For life support, we mention fuel, food, and healthcare. This is where I work. And then we have the global support section that covers other items. The volume of the procurement system altogether, so us and the agencies that I presented earlier in the slide cover for 2019 $19.8 billion. So it means that we are a very large buyer around the world, And it's divided between almost half and half between services and goods, mostly services actually, but goods are also very important. So this is a very large market, okay? And for the procurement division itself, we are looking at 2.9, so almost 3 billion per year, and also divided by almost half by services and goods. So as you say, it's fluctuating by year, but that depends on the number of missions, that depends on the activities that we are providing in these peacekeeping operation missions. What are the main commodities that we buy in the UN Procurement Division? Air transport. So by air transport, we mean we are buying services from charter companies to deploy the peacekeeper, the military and the police that we have in these peacekeeping operations. We also include here the freight for all the goods, and that's a very large part. Then we have IT, so we are buying software, hardware all across the world. Fuel, so by fuel we mean the Jet A1, which is the kerosene for the aviation part, but also the ground fuel. For ground fuel, we use it for vehicles and for generators. You know, our peacekeeping operations are located in very deep field, and most of the time there is no electricity where we implant our camps. So generators are the only means for us to have electricity and AC. Then we do food and catering. So food, we are giving the soldiers, the peacekeepers and the police the food rations every day. So we are distributing the food for them. We are also organizing the catering across all the missions, so that every admin officers, everybody in the mission, working in the mission, has a cafeteria, including in the HQ here in New York. We're also doing building and construction. By that, we are mostly placing camps. And that means sometimes we start with tent camps, but then it goes into brick and mortar. We have all the water cleaning, all the operations dealing with having a camp working in terms of building and construction. So and in this we also include the cleaning. We include services that everybody needs to have when you have offices around the world. Then we have the travel part, which is, by the way, decreasing a little bit this year, of course, as you all can understand. We have real estate. So in locations where there is no need for camps, like, for example, in some locations we are in the cities, we are renting offices. So this is what real estate is about. Then we have transportation and storage. So here we have a vehicle, transportation and storage is about storing the goods and doing the freight for those goods. Security is a growing part of our spending because the camps are located in areas where security is really important. So we are developing new systems with, electronic systems, intelligence, and drones and stuff like that. Then we have vehicles, of course. We are buying a lot of vehicles to deploy our troops and to allow them to go into the field for allowing them to do their mission. And then we have the finance and insurance. So in every country where we have a peacekeeping, we have a bank account, we have financial services that we need, also for our pension fund, which is really large. And we also buy insurance for, our general liability and also the health and and yeah, this kind of insurance for the staff. So how does the procurement volume spread in Africa? The top 5 African countries are first Kenya, because we have an office in Nairobi. So they are spending a lot. Then we are very large also in Ethiopia and Sudan, where we have large peacekeeping. But you see, South Africa is not bad because we don't have any operations, no offices, but South Africa still maintains a relatively large number with almost 50 million. That is one of the objectives of this seminar, is to increase that number, of course, so that more South African companies are registered, as Mika will talk about, and then we'll be able to do business with us. And then the last one on the top 5 is Mali, because we also have a large operation there. So what are the steps that you need to know about how to do business with the UN? First, you need to know who is the organization that you are answering the bid for. So look at their procedures. Everything is online. We have our procurement manual. Everything is explained. It's a lot of homework, but at least if you look at the RFP, the request for proposals, or the ITB, the intention to bid that we are posting, you will see that it refers to documents that I really encourage you to look at. One of them, also very important, is the UN General Conditions of Contract, because our contracts only cover what is specific to that procurement, but the backbone of our contractual terms lie into the UNGCC. Okay. Then you have to register in the global marketplace of the UN, which is called UNGM. And our next speaker, Mika, will get into that in more details. You need to identify what requirements fit what you want, what you need to, what you can deliver, sorry. So basically, we are not looking into helping you develop a new set of goods or services for your company. We're not here for that. We are here to locate the core companies that know how to do the services or the goods that we need at that point. So when you are looking at what is posted in our UNGM in terms of bids, you need to focus on where your core activities lie. And then you need to understand what are our challenges. So that would become your challenges, because of course, delivering in deep field includes some constraints that I will detail a little bit further. And then we encourage you to participate in those opportunities that the UN is providing through this UNGM. So what are the principles of the procurement in the United Nations? We have 4 principles that are very major. One is that we need to fit in the objectives and the needs of the UN organization. That means that we are buying only what we need at the time that we need it. So if, for example, you have a sale promotion and you want to try to, make us aware about this, if it doesn't cover our needs, we will not be looking at it. So it's really what we need that we buy. Fairness, integrity, and transparency. So this is super important. Fairness means that we treat every single vendor as a very important player, and we give all the bidders the same information. Integrity, of course, goes with procurement, so we accept, no bribery, no fraud. We have a zero tolerance policy. We have post-employment constraints as well. And transparency, we post everything on our website. Everything is accessible. We also provide you with debrief. So this is very important for you to feel that, you know, everybody is treated equally in this process. Another very important principle is that we are doing international competition, and it has to be effective. So we have to prove in our internal documents that we went through the planet and looked at all the vendors possible that can deliver these items for us. So contrary to the governments, for example, that have national preference, with the UN, it's international competition that is the main principle. And then the last one is best value for money. So that means that let me take you the example of the request for proposal. So request for proposal has evaluation in two parts of your proposal. So what we do is we do a technical evaluation, and you get a score out of the number of points that is the maximum for that technical evaluation. And then we also go after that to the financial evaluation, only of those that pass the minimum score of the technical. And then you get a new score, which is the financial score. And then we aggregate the two scores by giving, for example, 60% on the technical, 40% on the commercial. And that is what we call best value for money. That means that we have not only a good price, but we are also we are making sure that we are covering the requirements, that the corporation also has the strength to answer our needs, and that the quality is there and the risks are managed. So this is what we call best value for money. And these principles cover all the stages of the procurement, from the sourcing to the execution of the contract. So what is a procurement workflow, typical procurement workflow? First of all, we would be looking at our planning, you know, what it is that we need next year. Then we would be looking at the definition. So what exactly do we need? Then we would be doing market research. So for that, we would be placing what we call expression of interest, and that would also be in the UNGM. So once you're registered in UNGM and you select the alert, Mika will talk about this further, but you will receive alerts for the commodities that you have registered for, and therefore you will be able to see our expression of interest and answer. So that's the response that is important. You need to answer that, and therefore you would be considered for being in the list of invitees for our solicitation. Then we need to see what is our strategy. So do we need to combine lots? Do we need to allow for split award? Do we need to regroup throughout different countries? This is that kind of strategy that we are talking about here. Then we issue the solicitation documents. So one of them is this RFP document that you will have to answer. The other thing is the list of invitees and what we call the source selection plan, which is our internal document that explains how we will be doing the evaluation, both technical and commercial. Sometimes we do have a bidders conference. Right now we are doing it virtually. We also have Q&A session during the time of the bid. So this is when you really need to focus and look at the requirement. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Then there will be the closing of the RFP or the ITB, and then we will be looking at the offers. So there will be a bid opening. Right now it's done virtually as well. So you can participate even if you're not in New York through this virtual bid opening and see who else has answered that bid. Then we would be going into the evaluation, technical and commercial. Then we will be doing a recommendation to our internal committee, which will be looking into the way that it has been done to make sure that it has been done according to the rules. And that's what we call the internal review. And then we would get the approval. And then following that, we would get a contract award. That would be for the selected company, and then regret letters for the ones that didn't make it through to the award. And then the last step, very important, is the debrief, as I said earlier. So we really encourage you to ask for this debrief. You will receive in the regret letter an invitation to ask for debrief. So please don't miss that opportunity. And for that, we will be doing it on the phone with the technical chair of the technical evaluation committee and the financial chair as well. We will give you your strengths and weaknesses. We will not reveal any confidential information about the other bidders. And this is very important for you. Okay, now I jump into a different aspect, which is the Global Compact. But before I go here, Jean or Jeannie, do you have any questions for us that I can answer on the spot?
Hi, thanks, Isabelle. That was amazing. So on my side, a few people have sent me a private direct question. We had a few questions about the presentation. Will it be shared? And I've responded, yes, we will share the presentation. The other question I think was asked before you finished the previous slide. It was around fairness, integrity, and transparency. Do you give feedback when a company doesn't get the RFP? And you talked about the review and the debrief. Now, is that debrief allowed to everybody who's applied or just a select few?
So the debrief is allowed for all the bidders that submitted a bid.
All bidders, okay. That's great. And then the other question I got as well was around, again, linking to the fairness, integrity, and transparency. The question was, how are you helping women-owned businesses to be able to compete against the large and established organizations? It's more difficult for them to get to the fair value.
I understand. And you know, that's why we are taking these initiatives of WEConnect to connect with you, women-owned, because we know it's a difficult moment, especially with COVID, but also because the large companies are mostly managed by men, right? So, you know, we have. There are some countries that have initiatives where they have incentives, where they give incentives to women-owned or other types of unrepresented type of vendors. At the UN, because of that equality, fairness, and treatment, we cannot give incentives. But we are looking into mapping how many women-owned businesses are invited to each bid, how many answered. So we get some numbers, and then we get some goals, you know, that we would allow us to increase that participation by making the bidders, the buyers, sorry, more aware of, you know, when they're doing the market research, they basically need to find more women-owned businesses. This is our goal, and this is why we have this great partnership with WEConnect.
Thank you. I totally get that. That's great. Those were the two questions I had so far. I think you can carry on, please, Isabelle. Okay.
So Global Compact, that's this is something that we would like you to look into. It is a set of principles, of 10 principles that we are asking the companies to bid to. So we have 4 parts in these 10 principles. One deals with human rights. So protect the human rights internationally through the business, and make sure that you're not complicit with human rights abuses. So with that, we talk about human trafficking, we talk about child abuse, and things like that. The second is about the labor. So we want the companies to admit to the fact that there's freedom of association, collective bargaining. So staff union is an important part of that. Elimination of forced and compulsory labor, which also goes into the human rights as we spoke. Abolition of child labor again, and the elimination of discrimination in respect of employment and occupation. So gender or, you know, disability, things like that. The third part is about environment. So we want you to be precautious when you're doing your business with environmental challenges and promote greater environmental responsibility and develop environmental friendly technologies and produces. And the fourth one is anti-corruption. So no corruption, extortion, or bribery, and you would have to agree to that. So how do we do the participation of women-owned? This is linked to the SDG number 5, which is flashing here on the slide, which means that we want gender equality as much as possible. So we want to have responsive, cost-effective, and accountable support from the buyer, from the business to our clients, and for that we think that we need more women empowerment, gender equality, and we are striving to provide greater opportunities to women-owned, whether it is small, medium, or in developing countries or large countries as well, to compete for the business of the UN. Mika, I'm sorry, am I doing all this or? Anyway, okay, I continue.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, you can please just continue.
Okay. Okay, so UNGM registration, how does it work? So there is a box that says women-owned business in UNGM when you register, and it's a self-declaration. So basically what we want is that your company has 51% of the shares owned or by a woman, or that are operated by women, so managed by women. So it's a self-declaration. Since June 2017, the companies are able to do that. And please make sure that your UNGM registration is up to date on that issue. Right now we have almost 16,000 women-owned, and we encourage more to do business with us. Okay, so the procurement challenges of the peacekeeping. Let me go back to that for a little while. We have little or no infrastructure, so we are where the war zones are, and we are trying to, you know, make sure that we have our operations giving support to the populations in these areas. So that means that it's a really harsh environment, and when you're providing goods and services to the UN for the peacekeeping operations, you have to bear in mind that these are the conditions that you are going to operate. So one slide shows MINURSO, which is the Western Sahara, the other one MINUSMA, which is Mali, and as you can see, these are very difficult operations here. We also have volatility and risk, security risk. So we have, for example, roads that we need, UNMISS, it's South Sudan, that was created in 2016. And we also have, you know, camps that are under attack in Mali. So we have security aspects that we need to cover. And we are giving you security in the camp, and also through the convoys between the large ports or the large cities to where we are. but you also have to take into consideration these aspects when you deliver for us. We also have disease. So we had Ebola. We had a special mission, UNMIR, in 2014 for that. We also have issues with emergency. For example, in Lebanon, we helped recently in 2020, and also in MINUSCA, which is Central African Republic. Okay, so this is the last slide for me. This is our website and our mobile app. So feel free to, download and look at the calendar. And so you will see more opportunities here. Okay, thank you, everyone. This ends my presentation. And then I give back the floor to Jeannie.
Hi, thank you. There were a few more questions. Go ahead, Jean.
Sorry, yes, I was just trying to check the chat here. So there was a question about approximately how much of the awards go to women-owned businesses. That number is quite low right now. I believe it's less than 5%. So we're really looking to increase that number. We need more women-owned businesses to participate in our bidding exercises. That is our goal of this seminar. And I am just going to look and see if there's any more questions that we missed. Okay.
Okay, I had another one that talked about, you talked about spend per country. Are those African-owned companies, or is this global companies bidding in Kenya?
Okay, that's a very good question. When we take the number from the contract, the award, we take where the company is registered. So that would mean that it could be that it's an affiliated company that is in fact doing the business, but we are taking the registration of the prime contractor, the location where the prime contractor is registered.
Thank you. And then I saw a few abbreviations, which I wasn't sure what they were. Maybe we can just make sure we covered them all. We've just got 2 more minutes and then we'll hand over to Mika. Mika, did you want to start sharing your presentation?
Okay, that's fine.
I think SDGs, we all know what those are. Were there any others that we may need to clarify what they were?
And I know someone had asked about the website details. I'm about to post the links so they can start viewing the upcoming requirements and respond to the expressions of interest.
Okay, fantastic.
That's the term EOI. We throw that acronym around a lot. That's expression of interest. And that's the bidding opportunities that are coming up. So I'm about to share that in the chat. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. Were there any other questions that I didn't notice? Yeah, or else we'll go through to Mika now, and then we can always pick up on any other questions later on. Mika, we can see your screen, but we can also see the following slide. I don't know if that was the setup you were going for.
Oh, I see. I don't know. I don't know how I can get rid of this.
I think you may need to go back out and then go back into presentation mode.
Okay, let me just stop sharing for a second.
Okay, yeah.
And then, sorry. You can still see it? Or you don't see it anymore?
We don't see your presentation at the moment. We can just see. I think you need to share again.
Let me see if I can share screen. This. Oh, it still shows up. I don't understand why it shows up. Do you still see the next slide?
I'm not seeing it at the moment. Let's
Okay.
try sharing your slides.
You don't see the screen?
No, I'm not
Oh,
seeing
that's
it.
interesting.
now.
Yeah.
All right, because from my end, it shows.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Okay, start. There you go. That you
See it?
now, yeah. So if you can then go into presentation mode, that should be fine.
I'm trying. You see, it happens again.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
but
let's just go. Let's
okay,
keep going.
let's just go. I'm sorry. So this is Mika again. This is the vendor registration part of the presentation. So we are in Enabling and Outreach Service, Office of Supply Chain Management in the Department of Operational Support. Today, the topics to be covered is what is United Nations Global Marketplace? What information is available on UNGM? How to register online? How to access business opportunities and tender notices? How to subscribe to the tender alert services, resources, questions, and survey. All right, so what is UNGM? UNGM stands for UN Global Marketplace, and it is a vendor portal that we use. And registration onto this UNGM is mandatory for all commercial vendors. Vendors can introduce your products and services to various UN agencies and organizations by completing one registration platform, the form. So if you apply for one agency, we'll be showing later, but we apply for one, everything whatever you input will be duplicated or triplicated to other agencies as well. And also UNGM enables vendors to keep abreast of upcoming tender notices. And UNGM offers a service called Tender Alert Service, which vendors can receive relevant business opportunities, which will be emailed directly depending on your industry code. The vendor's profile is automatically matched with UN organizations based on the information provided. And please note, more than 5,000 procurement staff uses this portal. And as you can see, currently UNGM is used by 29 UN organizations and using the UNGM as their vendor database when they issue bidding exercise, etc. So UNGM is the UN procurement portal. The registration is a first step. Because even though you may find something interesting that you like to do business with, you are not able to unless you are registered in UNGM. And it is a requirement for you to, in order to participate in the bidding exercises. And please note, registration is free of charge at any stage of the registration process. You do not pay any money at all in using UNGM, except that when you subscribe to Tender Alert Service. But that is also, again, it's not coming into UN, it's provided by the third party. So we have 3 levels of registration. First level is a basic level, which requires company name. Please do not use DBAs because we usually look up the names of the company as registered in your certificate of incorporation. So like sometimes when the vendors are invited to bid and they use DBA, the bid opening official have a hard time matching if it's a DBA, they're not part of a list of invitees. So it is important for you to remember to bid as your company name and the company most senior information, etc. needed. And then basic level contract award is up to $150,000. That's all you need to participate in any tender exercises. And then comes to level 1, which covers contract awards up to 500,000. At this moment, you'll be requested to upload certificate of incorporation and 3 references. Please note, when you are bidding, you need to be only at the basic level. But if the contract award is more than 150,000, you need to be completely registered at the appropriate level to be considered for contract award. And then the highest level of UNGM registration is level 2, which requires immediate past 3 years of your financial statements and also 3 reference letters. We often get the questions about the reference letters. Reference letters need to be given by the people that you have been doing business with. So they have been your clients. It is important to note that. And also, this what it shows on the screen right now is a general. Depending on other agencies, it may differ what needs to, it may differ, meaning they may ask you additional information. So have to register online. We're going to show you demonstration how to register. So I am going to stop sharing my screen, and then my colleague Rich Han will show you actual screen to show the demonstration how to register. So first you get this page and you go to register. So I am going to stop sharing right now and move it over to Rich, please.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So the first step is to log in and register. And here you will go to new registration. You will please pick company. And they'll ask you basic company details. So as I go, I'll just fill it out. Vendor registration. Email addresses. The process usually takes about 5 minutes. Oh, I'm missing something. Oh. Okay. So once you fill out the basic information, you will get an email. That's the activation link. That's very crucial and very important. Okay, so then you get to this screen, but let me also flash back to the F11. See, in my email box activation emails here, let's see. Activate. All right. I'll make it bigger for everybody. Okay. complete registration. And here you have to fill out general information again. If you kindly note, right here, you could also put your DBA. So we would strongly encourage you put your real official name registered on the top. And on this, here you could put the DBA, or whatever it is, vendor, parent company, none. The type of service you provide. 20. This is where you put the women ownership if you have more than 51%. Okay. Save and continue. Did I forget something? Oh. There it goes. Save and continue. And that's just the general part. You have to do the address, registration type, contacts, so I'll go by one by one. International or national, you would pick, depends on your company, if you can do international, if you can do. This is where you would select the countries that you want to do business in. Show you. There's no limit of how many countries you can do business in. You just put there, select all. This is important. This is the contact information. This is usually the main person that's going to be maintaining the account.
That's where the invoices, etc., is sent. So please put CEO, CFO, president of the company. That would be helpful.
So if you see on the bottom, you can also have more than one registered user. So you can also select who the primary contact person is. Right now, I'm the only person registered, so I'm the primary contact. So you can, over here, you can invite another contact. All right. Save and continue. Oh, I'll put a number here. This is important. This is where the UNSPSC codes go. I would strongly encourage you, for instance, let's try, for instance, you provide furniture, you can put furniture and we can select what kind of furniture here. Say I'll pick this one baby stuff, camping furniture, save it. Now there's no limit to how many UNSPSC codes you have. I would recommend as many as you could, because that also matches you with the UN agencies that does business in those categories. The next one is the declaration of eligibility. And this is just, I guess, a claimer that you have no sanctions or you're not under investigations, you have never been sanctioned by the UN. If you proceed with all, you can always pick best to my knowledge, save and continue. That's very important that you pick to your best of your knowledge that you are not under investigations or you have any legal obligations or any kind of court things, I guess, proceedings.
Is not suitable for viewers younger than 13. Additional restrictions apply as indicated. Activate parental.
Let's register my company. It takes a minute or two. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah. Taking so long here. Let me stop sharing so I can get back into this. Hold on.
Rich, should we just cover a few questions while you're sorting
Sure,
this out?
please. I think that would be best. I mean,
Okay, great. Emmy and Jeannie, any questions that you're picking up on the chat?
The one question that I see that was the overwhelmed with the many categories. Just want you to know, you can go, you can go as detailed as 4-wheel drive with the right handle and this and that, or you can choose a bigger, the heading level. It's up to you. Whatever, if you are said you are a supplier of automobile, for example, you can just use supplier vehicles for commercial vehicles for construction. You don't have to go all the way to what kind of, how, what types of construction vehicles or machinery you choose. So it depends on you. You don't have to spend hours trying to pick and choose exact match.
If I can just add something, also this goes for when you're choosing your commodity codes in UNGM, and also if you're looking for tender notices. Both of these websites have a keyword search field where, for example, if your company supplies textbooks or something, you can put that in the keyword search and everything with that word will pop up. That's a very helpful way to narrow it down, depending on what your company provides. Thank you.
can you see my screen now? It's finally accepted it.
Yeah, we can see your screen. Go
Nice.
ahead.
So now I'm registered. It also matched, right here is where you pick the manage your agency submissions. And since I picked furniture, I matched with all these UN agencies. Now I can always submit to this agency ADB. You can always withdraw your application as well at any time.
Yeah, Rich, I think it'll automatically match you. Is that correct?
It will recommend it, and then you can always
And then
submit to it.
You can always deselect.
You can always deselect, correct.
Great, thanks.
Okay. Let me show you where you can look at tender notices. Since you're registered at basic level, so now you can apply to any agency or any tender opening. Let's see, tender notices. So right now there's a 927 tender opening exercises right now. And this will be your dashboard. This is where you can always change your registration, add new information, or let's see. Let's look at this one, for instance. So you'll see the tender noting options here. We'll give you the email of the contact person. Let me show you registration. This is also, you could also put your vendor documents on your dashboard. For instance, you want to upload your certificate of incorporation or any kind of certifications or ISOs or any kind of information you wish to have provided. This is also, if you look on my screen, level 1 under the vendor dashboard. And there you would ask you for the documentation for your certificate of incorporation, the references, the 3 references, and basic more company information like ownership and agents. And there's a bar right here to tell you if you're complete. Please notice there's a bar on top of documents and references and company information. Let's just say. And now I have 1 reference. It will tell you that you need 3 references. Once you have added 3 references, this bar will turn green. And once all 3 bars are green, you are able to submit for level 1. Once level 1 is complete, the UNGM system will also ask you if you wish to register for level 2. Let's see what else. You could always update your go back to settings, or registration, I mean. It's a little slow today. But registration is important because you can always add more codes. You want, since I only added 1 code, let me add more codes so I can see more tender openings. And that is very important for your tender alert service. If you sign up for that, depending on the codes that you have entered for your account, will populate tender openings that you would be more interested in, depending on your code. So let me show my codes I've selected. These are the codes I've selected. Okay, let me try to get paper. As you can see, I could pick all kinds of different papers, and then I just add that to my code. Manage my agencies if I want to. See, now right now I'm selected to all of these. These are all the codes that are due to my codes I'm submitted to. At any time, I can always withdraw from anything, any entity I want. Now see, I'm withdrawn. See, okay. Or you can always resubmit. So you have, and that can be changed at any time. If I want to add more contacts, just put in something for now. Or use this guy. But for instance, you could always add more contacts, and then you could always pick who your primary contact person is. So pretty much that's basically it. It takes about 5 minutes. We strongly encourage you to fill it out. Should you have any questions about registration, you can always send an email to register@un.org. That's register@un.org. And we will be happy to answer any of your questions regarding level 1, level 2, or any kind of basic registration questions.
And please go to $10 service.
Oh, yes, I'll show you that. Tender alert service, there we go. So here you can.
Sorry, Rich, while you're going to that, I got asked a question that when you're trying to fill it in, is there video support or a chat help that you can get while you're trying to fill it in?
There's definitely a video tutorial, and on the UNGM website, there has some videos you can watch, and they have a step-by-step instructions where you can click on and they'll go through it. You can always send an email to, like I said before, register@un.org, and we will be happy to answer your questions.
And also the slides that you're now seeing right now have all step-by-step instructions as well.
Okay, great. And then the other question I got was, what are the big mistakes people make when they're registering and then don't get fully utilized services? So I know with WeConnect, sometimes people don't put in their full details, or they don't explain their offerings properly. What are you seeing on your side as the kind of the mistakes that suppliers could be making?
The biggest one we see usually is when they ask for the business license. People get confused of what kind of license they're asking for. And usually what we're asking for is your registration ID number that with your company. For instance, with your local government, usually you're given like a 10-digit code, or I'm not sure, depending on the country itself. It's not a license we're asking for, it's just a registration number. That's the most.
Right. And the other things, it's more administrative ones is, oh, my secretary left who created this account and I don't have any more password. So can we create a new UNGM account, or how do I retrieve the password? So I suggest that you at least put two people's name and make sure, as Rich has been saying, the primary contact is a person who will be receiving invoices, contracts, etc. So that person cannot be someone who just created an account. Please be sure that it's the CEO, CFO, or president of the company who are allowed to see such information.
Yes, we recommend at least two people, just in case one person does leave the company, the other registered person could manage the account. The registered person can always add or subtract names anytime during the registration process, or anytime the account is active as well.
Thanks, Rich. And the other question was, are you required to upload any documents while doing the registration?
Well, at basic level, we don't ask for any documents, but at level 1, we would ask for the certificate of incorporation, which is like a legal document from your government acknowledging your companies exist in that country. For level 2, like Mika said, we would ask for your financial statements, recent 3 years, and 3 reference letters. And all that information is confidential. We do not share that anyone besides our own team.
I don't think Jeannie, on your side, do you have any more questions?
No, I did just want to, someone was asking about the tender alert service. I just want to remind everyone that that is an optional service that's offered through UNGM. All the information is available free of charge. All the tenders are posted, people can respond and participate without subscribing to the tender alert service. Just want everyone to know that's optional.
Right, you get the exact same information. The difference is if you subscribe to TAS, they will give it to you, versus if you don't subscribe, you go look for the information. But the information there is the same thing.
Okay. And let me see. And someone was asking about the UNGM number and the UNPD number. When you are responding to tender alert note to EOIs or to tenders, it's always helpful to indicate your company's UNGM number.
You can also see that in the top right corner, as you see on my screen. It has my UNGM number for this account is 713186. Or you can see it right here. And the UNPD number is the same thing as the UNGM number. So that's the only number you need to know about is the UNGM number.
And it always helps when whenever you have a questions and you want to send us questions, please indicate your UNGM number. That will, because there are so many similar company names. We just want to make sure we are asking and looking into the right vendor profile.
That's correct.
I think there are a few more questions there. Emmy and Jeannie.
Yeah, I see one about requiring visas. Is Isabelle still here? That
Yes.
one-
Yeah.
Yeah, Isabelle, there's a question. If a company is awarded a tender in a different country that requires visas for deployment team of the goods or services, will the visa application be supported by the UN, or is it strictly on the shoulders of the supplier?
Yes, we
Especially-
will help. We will help. We will give you a letter that you can present to that government for you to get the visa.
Great, thank you. And Isabelle, if I could, one more question about the tenders and the thresholds. What is the value, dollar value that expressions are posted on the website? For example, like low value and the.
Oh, low value. No, low value is below 10,000. So this is not posted.
That's below. So right. So the ones that are posted on the website.
They're all above that 10,000.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. And there's another question about if it's a new company that does not have a track record. So I believe the company needs to be in business for 3 years.
That's for level 1.
Oh, for level 1. Okay. And basic, it's okay?
Basic is okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But you can still participate in a bid for level 1 or level 2, depending on, I guess, if your offer is deemed best value for UN, the procurement officer will help with awarding that contract. So we encourage to participate, even if you're a really new company.
Okay.
I think I saw a question earlier about language. I'm not sure if that was picked up. I got a question as well. Do you have support if people are not that good in English to help other people with other languages? And does the registration platform also allow registration in other languages?
We allow 6 UN official languages, like English, Chinese, Russian, Spanish, French.
Arabic?
Did I say 6?
Arabic,
Arabic, yeah. Arabic 6, yes.
Okay, and there was a question, if a tender is posted in a language other than in English, can they get it in English? Most tenders are posted in English. Isabelle, are you aware of that, of getting tenders in other languages?
So, for example, our office in Geneva, they mostly post the tenders in French because it's their working language there. But for the rest, really English is the language. So we will not give you a translation, and yeah, you need to speak English. And you need to answer in English because the evaluation team common language is often only English. So they will not look at a proposal that is not in English. It will be mentioned in the RFP what language you need to use to answer, but it's mostly English, yeah.
Great, thank you.
I can see a question from Dudu Zile. Dudu, there was a slide that was in Isabelle's pack that spoke to the major commodities, especially those that were bought in 2019. And they included air transport, ICT, fuels, food and catering, building and construction, travel, real estate, transportation and storage, security of vehicles, and then financial and insurance. And I'm sure there's more, but we'll share the slides through with you as well, so you can have a look at that. I think that was slide 9 in Isabelle's pack. Isabelle, did you want to add anything else to what demands and supply you're currently looking for?
Well, yeah, if you look at the, there's a report in the UNGM called ASR. I don't know what it stands for. Annual
Statistical Report.
That is, thank you, Jeannie.
Yep.
And that gives you the very detailed analysis of the procurement volumes and the expenditure per agency, per country. So really, that could be a good link also that we could put in the presentation, Jeannie. One other thing that I wanted to mention that I didn't mention in the presentation, but now that I have the mic, I'm going to take moments to tell you this. Your company may be small, but what we and you see from our volumes and our global footprint, we're looking for large global companies as prime contractors. But that does not that could be a solution for you to participate as subcontractor. So we're looking into women-owned businesses as tier 2 companies and maybe tier 3, so that it is coming your way. So in that sense, you could look also to our website, what are the companies that are awarded the contracts, and then contact them. We don't do peer-to-peer. We don't help you do business with the prime contractors, but by giving you the name, you would be able to contact those companies. And if you can help them, find subcontractors, that could also be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. I also just posted in the chat, someone who was asking about the commodities and the spend. There's a link in the chat to our web page that has all the stats for UN Secretariat. It shows the commodity and the dollar amount.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Mika, did you still have more slides you wanted to go through? Because I know we need to end on your feedback slide. You're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, we have a couple more slides, but just before, instead of going back and forth with my slides, I'm going to ask Rich to show where the Knowledge Center is to find the information. Okay. And
let me share my screen.
Or I can do it back. Let me see.
Okay. So on your dashboard, the Knowledge Center is right here.
Where you can find all additional information that you need. And also in the slides, we have, let me see if I can even share this with you right now.
Oh, hold on, let me stop sharing that. Go ahead.
I'm trying to show, but for some reason it's not allowing me again. Hold on. Hold on just a second, please.
Rich, can you also share the link of where you currently were, where you said this is the Knowledge Center? Can you just drop the link into the chat as well?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but that one is also in slides as well.
Let me see.
So we're hoping people will go in today, and while it's still hot in their heads, that they'll start filling in the application, which would be great.
The Knowledge Center is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you the Help Center where you can see some slides and the tutorials and stuff like that.
We're not seeing your screen currently.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I posted it in the chat.
Oh, you did. Okay, fantastic. Great. Thank you for that.
By any chance, do you see my screen? For the right, maybe not.
It's saying it's starting to share. It hasn't come up yet.
Okay. All right. Anyway, the slides that you are not seeing right now, for whatever the reason, shows where to go to the link for the video training. The exact thing you just saw, what Rich did. It has a link to it, so all you have to do is click. And also, you still don't see my screen?
No.
Just started.
All right, so whatever, it's slow. Also, there's a contact page for whatever the questions you may have. We listed the contact email addresses where you can write to us. And I'm going to ask Amy, who is going to talk a little bit about the survey. We started having business. I'm going to stop sharing mine so Amy can show the survey, which we appreciate every participant of today's event to get back to us. Amy, can you show your screen?
Yes. Hold a second. Everybody can see it?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
So the first thing we want you to do is pick today's event. That's where, yes, today WEConnect Africa event. And as you can see, there are only few questions, but these few questions will help us immensely for us to improve our future presentations, or the questions we didn't cover that it's important to you, etc. So please take 5 minutes. It literally takes 5 minutes to do this. And the link is also in my slides that you were not able to see a few minutes ago.
It's actually don't take 5 minutes. I think like 30 seconds or 1 minute. So
unless you have a lot of suggestions, which we appreciate your suggestions. So please do that. And otherwise, I think we are done with the vendor registration part of presentation. Jean, I'm sorry, I cannot show my screen. So the very last page of the screen is not appearing.
Thanks. Let me see if I can get it to share on my side.
Yes.
Rini, do you have it on? Do you have that slide with the thing as well? I'm using a different laptop. I just need to find the presentation again.
I think I can share. So
yeah,
okay,
thank you. It's the very last one.
Yeah, I know. Hold on a second. I'm sorry about this.
Right. Were there any other questions that we didn't cover? I think we kind of covered most of them. Great. There's the slide.
Well, go to slide 30 for a second, if you don't mind.
Which one?
30.
Yeah, everybody will get this slide. So
yeah. See, as you can see how she's going through everything which has shown in demo, you can see in writing. So it's easy to follow. But like I said, if you have any questions, next one, I think. Go to next, no more. Go. Sorry.
So this is the resources that we talk about, UNGM Knowledge Center, and also annual statistical report. You can get that information as well. Knowledge Center. And then here, email address.
Here's the email addresses that I was referring. Please write to us. We will answer your questions, but please include your UNGM number. That will help us immensely. And then next one was a survey link, as well as a
link and also QR code. If you have the smartphone, you can just scan this code, and then that leads to the site that I just showed you. So.
And then the very last one.
And
there
here,
you go.
The contact.
Do you want to just go back to the QR code a second? Let people have a chance to just open that. So please, everybody on the call, it's not going to take you long. Please just, if you point your phone at the QR code, you should be able to open the questionnaire. I've just opened mine. It's very, very, very quick. We'd really appreciate you filling this questionnaire in. Vanessa on our side has also put a very short feedback in the chat, but we'll also email it to you. So thank you so much to the team. This is great timing. We're right on time. I hope we covered everybody's questions. There was a lot of information covered this afternoon, so I'm glad we agreed to do the 90 minutes of this presentation. We appreciate you very much sharing the demo, the presentation, and all your knowledge. We really want to get more women registered on the UN to be able to to also be suppliers to the UN. So we really appreciate it. There was a lot of interest when we sent out this advert. I think we had over 280 people actually register to participate. And I know a lot of people register so they can get the recording afterwards. So we will have more follow-up. And we're hoping to do another one of these in Q1 of 2021. Hopefully, Jeannie, we can pick that up and maybe try and focus on East Africa at that time, but we'll also make sure we share the invites widely. So thank you to everybody. I'm not going to name everybody by name, but you know who you are, the UN team. We really appreciate it. I know it's still morning for you. For us here, it's almost 5:30 in the afternoon in South Africa. So it's been a very fruitful and very rewarding day. And I hope to hear that many women-owned businesses will have registered. We'll certainly make sure we'll keep encouraging them to do so. So thank you to everybody who joined the call this afternoon. We know there was a lot of information. Please click to the links on the chat so you've got them open on your laptops for future use and then save them. And we'll try and get the presentations to you soon. We just need to download the recording and then get it onto, I think it's going to be put on YouTube and then be able to send it out. So please be patient. Thank you, everybody. Have a great morning in New York and have a great evening in Africa. Awesome. Just final reminder from us, anybody on the call who's not registered with WEConnect International, please, please, please do so. You can see the quality of the partners that we're working with, such as the United Nations. Please go into the WEConnect database. We've got an amazing new database. It's much easier to fill in, and our members and partners will actually go in and search for women-owned businesses directly. So it really is a great site. You've got to make sure your details are there so they can find you. We can't have people saying they cannot find women-owned businesses because we know we're out there. Good afternoon and good evening to everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you so much. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Dad.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you so
Stay
much.
safe.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios. Bye bye.
Adios indeed.
Hunting. Salang hante.
Salam hantam.
Awesome. Have you copied the chat?
Oh. Okay.
Copied it a while back. Good. We got it. Okay, so we can leave now.